What?
Dun 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 dun.
Hey,
So it's been a while since we've done one of these podcasts. There's a lot of reasons why, but I'm not going to go into them. But
You're-
I just want to say,
not
because
fooling me,
Panda
bro.
is the recurring guest on this podcast, I believe this is your third one with me, fourth technically. I wanted to have you back on this particular one because it's the return of the Free Parking Podcast, along with it's New Year's Eve. Tomorrow it's going to be 2024, a brand new year. So I wanted to start this thing off by just talking about some of the highlights of 2023. So, do you remember where you were going into 2023?
Who do you work for, bro?
Fuck.
What do you? What do you?
Fuck.
What you buying?
They're onto us.
What you selling?
Do you remember where you were?
yeah.
Where? What were you doing?
Wait, the beginning of
Yeah,
this
like
year?
on New Year's. Do you remember New Year's 2023?
Yeah, I was given a questionable substance
I meant in life.
in life.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, last New Year's was weird because of the questionable substance, but in life, I was just chilling. I started working at Fuji, Fuji, Japanese steakhouse, hibachi, sushi and bar.
Yeah.
Started working there last year, and been working there like over a year now. Just like serving, little bartending. I did sushi for a little bit there, too. But I mean, winter is kind of like a tough time for me. Sometimes it's just really rough, trying to make it. But
Winter is pretty hard for pandas.
yeah. I mean, we're chilling though. We're kicking it. It's all Gucci.
Good answer. That answered my
Yeah.
question perfectly.
Yeah.
But
I kind
guess-
of just do. Like, I don't really. Like, there's, at least for me, there's not so much emphasis on, like, anticipating my next move. I kind of just let it happen, Like,
So what you're saying is you just kind of rode the wave of 2023.
I stay calm, ready to strike,
So you just kind of rode the wave of 2023.
like a snake or a cobra. Yeah. I'm always just riding the wave.
And how was that wave?
It's up and down, bro. Yeah, that's the balance of life, You just kind of go with the flow. The
2023
the
to me was
banana
kind
flow.
of 2023
maybe
to me was
even.
kind of wild because I started off. I mean, I had just done a really large move. Towards the beginning of 2023, I lost my job, and there was a lot of life changes going on. And I remember like 2017 to probably 2021 or 2022, I was really, really like in a constant state of progression and progressing in my life in pretty much every aspect. And then 2022 and 2023, I think a couple of things probably weighed me down a bit. One was definitely like burnout from working and in my career. Another thing was definitely like, I think just the weight of all of having to change so much for the pandemic had finally hit me. Like I was fine in 2019 and 2020. I was thriving really, but I think the after effects finally hit me like after it did for everyone else. But then, I mean, later on in the year after I lost my job, we went on that Colorado trip. So our second Colorado trip since the last podcast, and in that one, it was really cool because I got to take you to see Portugal the Man, like one of my
Yeah.
very favorite bands,
PTM.
and Red Rocks. And a couple weeks
Also,
later, I got to see
The
Ween there
Sacred
as well.
Souls. Yeah.
And I got to see Ween this year, I think like 4 times. New Orleans, Denver, New Orleans twice, Denver, and then Memphis. So it's been a lot of traveling this year and a lot of new experiences, but I just feel like I didn't really progress much. And so my goal going into 2024 is going to be to just put everything on the table and just try my absolute best to kind of get back to that progression. What about you?
I mean, I would love to see Ween 4 times.
That's all you got.
I mean, so as I was saying about the Fuji undisclosed workplace,
Yeah. D-
it's
Fake name. Fake name.
it's just kind of crazy because I don't know what I'm legally allowed to say for my protection in regards to my work. But it's all chill. I work there. But basically, like, I want to be a hibachi chef,
And
and that just sounds like something fun.
oh, so
and
you're
something
into
that I
it because
wanna-
it just sounds fun. Like you're not
Well,
necessarily
I
a huge
like
fan of hibachi.
I like food. I like
You like cooking.
I like
Okay,
cooking.
that makes sense.
And I like entertaining people. So
So what makes hibachi different than other? I mean, not everyone that's watching this probably has been to a hibachi grill. I mean, I would assume most, but
if you haven't been to hibachi, basically a live person comes and
not a dead one.
not a dead one, not a robot.
No AI here.
No AI, no artificial
next year.
intelligence. A real live person comes and cooks
Disgusting.
cooks for you. Rice, vegetables, meat of choice.
Reno has entered the building.
Reno has entered the chat. Reno, what do you want to do in 2024?
Just don't hype him up, bro. That's all I'm
I
gonna say.
can't gas him up. It's his podcast.
It can be if he's a good boy.
You say it's the free parking podcast, but it's actually the Reno Wilson podcast.
I think he wants to take his mother's name.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. What's that?
I don't know.
Oh,
It was a one and done.
Regina. Reno, son of Regina. I want to like release a shit ton of albums next year. I feel like I've
Yeah.
been slacking.
We did release an album.
We did.
That's another thing that happened this year.
Yeah.
Sorry we made this.
Sorry we made this.
No, seriously. Sorry.
Sorry we made this on Spotify, Apple Music. Not on Bandcamp, but soon.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because it's not on Bandcamp.
Oh, it's crazy.
But we're also working on another album that I guess should be released next year, and so that'll be fun.
You want to talk a little bit about that? We don't have to go into too much detail because it's kind of low key, but we can at least say this: it is going to be a battle rap album essentially between two individuals.
You hear that, Nick? You hear that?
I was
Nick,
gonna try not to.
Goof.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a pretty interesting experience. I mean, I hope that it turns into some sort of comedy album. Really, would be the end goal. What are you doing, boy? What you doing? So, Panda, like, I guess what I'm trying to get out of you is, in 2023, did you feel like you had any goals going into it? If so, did you achieve them? And what are your goals going to 2024?
I don't think I have had any goals that I was aware of. Just to survive.
I feel like you'd have to be aware of your goals for them to be goals, but I could be wrong. I mean, could be wrong on that.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, usually to me, like, I guess a goal. I personally wouldn't call it a goal. More so, like, possibly like an achievement. Like
An unplanned.
Well, like the thing with like some of my studio albums, those to me are like achievements, and I guess you could say they're goals. But like I was saying, like yeah, I'd love to release a bunch of new stuff next year. Probably get in shape. Probably eat more. Fix my food situation going on. Um, it's just tough, man. Like working and trying to sustain yourself. You know.
Yeah. That's one of the challenges of life, the great challenges of life.
Yeah, but you know we doing the damn thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I kind of want to shift it to the album we were just talking about, not the diss album, because I don't want to go into too much detail on that, but
No, that's a secret album.
not anymore. But now
Not
it needs to be at least a little low key,
nobody.
so that the parties
nobody,
involved.
Nobody knows anything about it. Watch out, goof.
The album Sorry
Watch
We
out.
Made This. So I kind of want to go into some of my thoughts really quick, and I'll pass it over to you. But originally, we had the idea to create an album together, and we didn't really have any direction to start with. And we started making I started making some beats, and I started having Panda kind of rap / sing over some of these beats, and we would get totally obliterated. We'd go out, we'd take a bunch of shots.
We were pretty crossfaded, not gonna lie.
Yeah, and we would
Didn't do anything illegal.
we would basically get faded and then come into the studio, and he would do all kinds of crazy like mumble rap and just like screaming into the mic and some crazy stuff that actually ended up turning into some pretty, I would say, a mix between comedy and just like good. I mean, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I mean, some of the songs like Cold Brew, Bluetooth Dude.
Well, Cold Brew you didn't put on the album.
That's
It's
true,
a
but
single.
it's the same era. It's
Yeah.
the same. It was the same vibe.
If me personally, I would put Cold Brew on the album, but
That song I made
there would
in,
be an awkward placement though.
it's not the
to
placement.
find,
I think it could fit. It's just that I made that song in Atlanta way
beat.
before. Yeah, I made that whole thing way before, and then you recorded vocals over a completely different song, and then I took those, chopped it up,
Yeah.
and put it on that beat, and it felt way more like my song, and so it just felt like something I had made. But a lot of the songs on there, like La Familia,
That one's
Fishin' and Grillin',
Fishing and Grilling.
those are songs like you tracked, you actually recorded guitar, bass, and those sorts of things.
Yeah.
But I would say like the first half of the album is, there is a difference between the first and second half of the album. There really is. It changes drastically.
Side B.
Going into WTF, you know.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of went into that recording process kind of, I would say, like kind of blindly. We would find a vibe and catch it, you know, and make something good. But yeah, I think the second half of the album is he's just too fucking cute. He's adorable. You're pretty boy. Yeah, the second half of that album was kind of
It slows down.
Yeah, but also like
Also, I'ma like 'em.
really kind of like expressing the emotions more specifically than the first half.
I could feel that. And I think releasing that, it was kind of like a release for me. I kind of stressed out on it, and I was also that was during my unemployment phase, so I kind of just wanted to get it done with. I really loved making it, but like I don't know, I was spending like 3-4 months on it or something.
Which one gave you the most headache?
Probably either Ham and Chi
Ham and Chi.
or
You still need to release the music video to that.
there is no music video.
There's
How
a
am I going to
music
release
video.
something we never filmed?
There's a music.
We never filmed anything.
There's Ham and Chi.
We filmed like a 5-second teaser.
Something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think there's just so much going on in the world.
There's a lot going on.
There's definitely like, there's war, there's economic issues, there's issues with AI, there's
Yeah.
issues with like just people being hostile towards each other more so than lately. More and more addiction to social media than it seems to constantly be increasing. It's kind of wild, bro.
It is pretty crazy. Yeah, there's kind of like a, I guess like a, at least for me, like a collective melancholy from all of the hardships, that are happening across the world.
Yeah, I mean, a melancholy is a good way to put it because
Yeah.
it's not
Because it's constantly there, like the thing
it's not all
going
negative
on.
though. It's not all negative though, and I wanna
Yeah.
I wanna point that out too. There are some things that are really
I
really
think we're
great,
getting
but
somewhere because it's like at a certain point, like people are gonna have to
lay down, boy.
like really
Lay.
protest.
Lay down.
Like people are gonna have to
Lay. Keep going.
like
Ignore me.
stand up for what's
Lay down.
stand up for what's right.
Well, what is right? People have differing opinions, and I feel like a lot of people think they know what is right, but life is so complex, and so many people have so many different opinions that they think that they know the truth and that they fight for the truth. But in reality, people need to realize and understand that other people, at least a lot of them, are fighting for their own truth too. And so by you attacking them or by them attacking you, that's going nowhere. Instead, you need to realize, hey, how is this person arriving at this viewpoint? Could they even be correct?
Yeah.
You have to have that mindset where you're more patient and you slow down and you think about things this way. And that, I think, is more of the problem than anything. Is like everyone seems to think they know everything right now. And I think in part that does have a lot to do with technology because so much information is in your fingertips. You're talking to someone and you say something, and they're like, well, let me Google that real quick. And it's like, no.
You have to fact check it because
You can fact check it, but facts are also complex.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of facts to sometimes create informed reality, right? So it's like you can't just Google something and then the first thing you see says I'm wrong or says the thing I look up says they're wrong.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they're wrong. So it's just an odd state and an odd reality that we're living in right now.
For sure. Yeah, I definitely agree. It kind of makes, at least, it makes it feel weird to for me, like as an artist, to want to like post stuff, because I don't want to seem like I'm ignorant, to it all.
And what do you mean by that exactly? I'd like to dig into that a little.
Well, with what's going on overseas with the
Oh, I see.
with the war and
Yes.
all that, a lot of people have been posting stuff constantly, and the death toll just keeps rising, and it's
Yeah.
it sucks, man. Like it to constantly be aware of that and be worrying about it.
And is that a lot because of why are you on social media a lot looking at things?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard not to.
Interesting. Do you moderate how often you view social media?
Well, I've been using a newer phone. On my old phone, I did set a time limit on some of the apps. I think I spent maybe an hour on Facebook and Instagram combined.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I mean I would just go over it and I would just be like I don't care. And it'd be like you reached your limit. I was like just scroll for a little bit more,
Yeah.
maybe it was 2 to 3 hours a day probably. On a day I'm working, but it's just it's usually actually just on Instagram. I mean on Facebook everyone's kind of still just doing their own thing. On Snapchat it's people posting selfies and stuff. Instagram you see it a lot, and that's the thing is as an artist, whether you sell art or jewelry or you make music or even you're a producer, or something like that, you kind of have to keep posting, and in a way pushing I guess your image, you know, like, if you're a producer doing like a holiday special, like, let me master, 5 songs for X amount of money. Or,
I would say I disagree with that. I create art too.
yeah,
I almost never post it. I do have like dedicated channels for certain things. Like for example, with this, I'm gonna upload it to YouTube.
yeah,
I might cut some clips up, share it on Facebook once or something like that. But I think unless you are trying to make a living with your art, which you do with a certain percentage of your art, right? So you make paintings and stuff like that. But
yeah. But
you don't really sell your
haven't-
music. You don't really market your music.
no, no, no. But,
So-
but it's like, it's I don't know, like having like a social media, like I don't have a lot of followers or anything, but like just having social media, you kind of want to like post stuff so people can still see your art, or like, I guess, like, so you can still feel relevant, I guess.
What if you had a place to put your art where people who want to see it could go look if they wanted to, but it doesn't show up in their face. So it's like maybe a separate Instagram page, for example.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I feel like then you can separate, because on your art Instagram page, you could just follow very specific things. And if you're going to be posting
That's
all the
true.
time on that,
Yeah.
then you're going to be seeing a lot less of the things that are making you stressed out because you have a very targeted Instagram page.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, kind of getting the algorithm to work a certain way.
Yeah, I mean, on your main Instagram page, obviously you're going to see a
Well,
lot of
actually-
that stuff because you're liking things over the many years. It starts to learn your behaviors. But if you have a dedicated page where you're like, I'm only going to look at art shit on this
Yeah.
particular page.
I didn't even think about that, yeah, because it is like that. Like, I have a main Insta, and then I have a Finsta. And on my Finsta, it's more just like Pokemon and capybaras and cute art stuff. On my main, it's a lot of like guitar and world stuff. But at least on my main Insta, I don't really. It's kind of just. You good? It's just kind of like a mix of like art and dancing and Pokemon cards. I kind of just throw all my hobbies and interests together into one big ball, roll it up, Katamari Damacy style.
Dope.
Yeah, but
That's all we are, is
which-
just a giant
whi-
ball floating through the sky, man.
Which brings me to my next point. And we've kind of gone into this in other episodes with Pokemon.
Here we go.
Bulbasaur.
Oh, shit.
Bulbasaur.
He got
is,
us. He got us.
Bul-
It's happening.
you,
It's happening.
you have Bulbasaur, right?
Right.
He's the first Pokemon, or excuse me, because Bulbasaur could be male or female. So Bulbasaur is the first Pokemon. And Bulbasaur is a grass Pokemon.
I see where you're going with this.
But then you also have Charmander and you have Squirtle. Charmander's a fire Pokemon. And
You'd think it'd be the
Squirtle-
other way around.
And Squirtle is a water Pokemon.
You would think water comes before leaves.
Is that correct? Or
I think
you would
so.
think.
Right.
You would think.
You can't have life
was
without water.
Was it just water first?
No. You can't have life without water.
So was Earth just water?
I don't know. I doubt it, no. I don't think so.
You're familiar with the concept of Pangea, right?
Yeah, I went to elementary school.
You went to elementary
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
So they taught you about Pangea
Yeah.
in what, like second, third, fourth grade, first
I
grade?
think it was a little, maybe fourth.
Is
I
is the teaching of Pangea banned in schools?
I doubt it.
Who talks about it anymore? No, I'm serious. I'm for real. I'm not pulling your leg. No, go onto Instagram.
Man, who the fuck ever talked about Pangea?
Get on Facebook.
What are you talking
and
about?
start talking about Pangea and these, People
These
look
Russian
at
trolls.
people look at you like you're crazy.
They look at you
They
through
look
their
at
profile
you,
picture.
They look at you like, and they speak to you like you're crazy. You know?
I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I've never experienced.
Okay,
this.
so Pangea, right? The Earth had like
There was a single continent.
Yeah, had one big massive landform, and then it separated.
Into the many continents over many.
Yeah. So the thing with Pokemon,
That's still happening.
the thing with Pokemon is that the Pokemon evolve, right? So they have
that is correct.
a certain, they have like a certain amount of evolutions, So we have Bulbasaur, and Bulbasaur evolves into Ivysaur, and then Ivysaur evolves into Venusaur.
That is correct.
Venusaur has a giant flower on its back. So we're
All
going,
three of them do, really.
Yeah, so we're going
It
from
just
like
blossoms over time.
yeah, and that's the point of life,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Like if you look at Pokemon, like Reno, for example. Reno is a Pokemon.
Houndour.
Growlithe?
I could see that. I could see Arcanine. Yeah, he was a Growlithe back in
Yeah.
the day, but
Back in the day.
okay. Can I?
I mean,
can
that's the
can
cool thing
Can
about
I stop
Pokemon.
you for a second? Can I stop you for a
That's
second?
the cool thing about Pokemon.
Can I stop you for a second, Panda?
Yeah.
I think I understand where you're coming from, and let me just rant for a second, and then you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. Sound
Okay,
good? Okay.
sure.
I think what you're trying to say is that life itself is an evolution, right? And things are constantly changing. Things are constantly evolving, right? So if you can see something like the flower on a Pokemon's back, like Bulbasaur,
Yeah.
into Ivysaur, into Venusaur, and its growth, and its blossoming, and its colors changing, and its abilities learned, and its new things happening over time with experience points. And so over time, you go from point A to point B. It's this constant state of change. There's never a point in time where you're not changing, right? All the way till death. And then even after death, your body dissolves and then becomes part of the earth. And then the earth continues to change. And so the earth is continuing to change along with your, biodegraded body. It's a nonstop cycle,
Bruh.
right? Is that what you're kind of getting at?
Yeah. Yeah. You took the words right out of my mouth, bro.
Did I?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, it's.
Do you want him back?
No, it's just.
I can Cash App you.
That'd be cool. I thought you didn't have Cash App though.
I do. I activated my debit card.
You got hacked.
Huh?
They took all your Dogecoin.
I don't think I ever had Dogecoin.
You didn't have Ethereum or.
Yeah, I had Ethereum and
Ethereum.
Bitcoin, yeah. I had a Bitcoin in 2014. I still do. I just lost that shit.
There was what's that other one? Alchemy.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of fucking cryptos.
Bless you.
Thank you.
The Alchemist.
Are you in a boxing match with the microphone, bro?
Yeah.
If he rips the HDMI cable, it's already kind of laggy anyway. I think he did something, yeah. Hey, boy, I need you to calm down, okay? We're doing a podcast. You want to get on the podcast?
I just want everyone in 2024 to be happy.
That's never going to happen.
It makes me happy to see other people happy. So
That will never happen.
going back to the hibachi thing, I just want to throw an egg into my hat,
That's all I want, man.
That's it.
That's all I freaking want,
I mean,
man.
I'm a
But then what comes after that?
I'm a minimalist.
But here's the thing, Panda. You
don't
say
need
that.
much to be
you
happy.
say that.
I mean, I'm gonna want a.
But before that,
I'm gonna want a Lambo, and I might want, a few pedals. It would be cool to have like 7 DL4s, and I would like to
a
jam.
Lambo's a big step up.
I would like to jam with Nick Reinhardt, and Zach Hill.
This is a lot of things. You were, I think.
Like,
Which one is it,
Is
Panda?
it too
do you
much
just
to
want? Do you
ask?
just want to throw an egg in your hat, or do you want a Lambo?
I want to see Death Grips live.
We almost did.
We
had tickets. We had tickets.
They just, all those kids just had to piss everywhere, though. You didn't hear about that?
Oh my God! Explain that.
So during Death Grip's last tour with Nick Reinhardt, they a lot of people in the crowd just started to just piss, defecate, and throw up in the middle of the mosh pits, and it was really disgusting.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. I mean, it's Death Grips first of all, so
That doesn't.
it's kind of expected.
Doesn't.
You know?
No, it's not expected.
It is.
No, it's not. What are you
It's
talking
fucking
about?
Death Grips.
Yeah, but there's nothing about Death Grips that makes me think like sloppy homeless person.
When I think Death Grips,
Okay,
I also
I take that back. I take that back. That's exactly what it makes me think of.
When I think Death Grips, I think of ham and cheese. You know,
Thank you.
it's you can
I
very
can be a sloppy
you
homeless
can
person
very
from time to
you can
time.
very specifically see my influences on Sorry We Made This. You know, there's a lot of
Yeah, I could see.
Death Grips, The Garden, noise music.
But here's the
just-
thing, right? It's weird because you got Death Grip style vocals with like I don't even know what I would consider the instrumentals an inspiration of. I don't really know what was inspiring me at the time, honestly, but I can definitely see like in Ham and Chi and in maybe some parts of Bluetooth Dude, some Death Grips influence for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, man, how was Colorado? I mean, you went there twice since the last podcast. Can you?
I went with, yeah, Colorado was sick. I went with my friend, Zach. And, yeah, that was really cool.
What about Chris?
That was the year before.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. 2 times since the last podcast.
Colorado won.
Yeah, this is kind of choppy, but we'll survive.
Well, Colorado, too, was fun. Getting bitten to death by mosquitoes.
Bitten.
in,
Oh, that was Arkansas.
In Arkansas. That was not fun. Colorado 1 was pretty fun.
Oops.
Yeah,
Pretty fun, bro. Listen. All right. Listen.
What? I'm listening.
We went
Was
all
it
the way
like
from
10
Georgia. We
days?
drove all the way from Georgia to Colorado and back. We stayed in Colorado for a period of time. I think it was like an entire week. The trip up took about 2, maybe 3 days. The trip back took about 2, maybe 3 days. The whole time, other than maybe 1 or 2 days, we camped in like national land.
Most.
On the way up there, we got annihilated by ticks on the first night.
Yeah.
The second night, we stayed in this amazing place in Kansas. Don't say the name.
Okay.
'Cause I-
Great park.
Yes.
Beautiful. Amazing energy. 10 out of 10.
The Garden of Eden. And then when we when we got
Not
there,
exactly, but metaphorically.
yeah. But when we got there, we did all kinds of stuff. We hiked Pikes Peak, which took 2 days. So halfway up, we stayed the night. Now here's the thing, Chris,
Bar camp.
our buddy Chris that came with us, was doing this all on a broken leg. He hiked Pikes Peak on a fully broken leg. What a monster!
God's
And then
favorite.
on the way back, we camped in Mark Twain National Forest in this completely desolate spot, and I slept inside of a. It was like
A wheel. A
I
water
slept
wheel.
inside a giant water wheel. Yeah, rusted. So a village apparently lived there, and had dilapidated over time. The whole village actually went extinct. There's a historical plaque that explains all of that. They did not survive. It was a very small village, and over time they eventually just all passed away. But the wheel was all that remained, and it was still intact because it was made of steel. And I slept in it with my hammock. And then, yeah, I mean, it was pretty amazing. I think that was in the top 5 experiences of my life, I would say.
Yeah. Colorado 1 was fun. I think Colorado 2 was more fun, but I mean,
That's because it was just fun. There wasn't much work involved. It was just fun. We just
Well-
did fun shit.
yeah.
The first one was like work. It was type 2 fun, I think they call it.
We hiked a little bit for Colorado.
A little bit,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like a
Was
little
it,
2-hour hike.
Mount Evans, I think.
No. It was It was a part. It was a trail that connects to Mount. It was a trail that connects to Mount Evans.
GPS coordinates 32.927.113.
Dude, those flies though.
The flies.
I remember you were talking about the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes in Arkansas, at least where we were crazy.
Those mosquitoes.
Can you talk about that guy, the gnomes? You know what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying. Yeah, so we were trying to, I can't remember. Yeah, we were trying to find somewhere to camp, and we go to this, like, it's a park, but it's mostly like.
It was an RV park.
It was like a RV trailer park type thing, and you know, we pull up, we go to the office, which is another RV, and this this dude comes out and he's like, "Oh yeah, you know, yeah, you can park here, you can park over there, you gotta go around, you know what I'm saying? You know, or
No,
you
he said it slower than that. He said it slower than that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was really slow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was way more.
Saying. I don't know. He didn't particularly have a creepy vibe, but he kind of.
What is you talking about?
He kind of was like.
He was creepy as hell, bro. He didn't have the creepy vibe of like I'm gonna murder you.
It was a little sus. It was a little sus.
I'm just gonna be like, if
Yeah.
this guy was weird.
Yeah.
He was creeping me out. I wanted to leave.
Yeah.
I felt like if we stayed there, he was gonna just. I don't think he would have murdered us. Maybe he would have. It's possible.
You think he would collect our poop and make jankum with it?
Not quite that weird.
Okay.
But I feel like he might like stand right next to us while he. Don't talk about.
So he was a little sus.
He was weird, yeah.
Yeah. But we didn't stay there. I forgot where we went. You know.
What I'm saying.
The
Pet that dog.
the next trip is a rim to rim to rim.
Oh fuck! You are you actually down? You doing this?
How
shit
many
with me?
days is that?
The hike itself?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. I could do it in 2, but honestly, it would be pretty rough. I think we need to split it into 3 because it's 44 or like 48 miles, something like that.
48 miles.
Yeah, so if we did it in 2 days, it'd be like 24 miles a day. Easy now, buddy.
I would do 4 days, 10 miles.
I think
a
3
day.
days is fine.
Lord have mercy. I mean, we've done Pine Mountain, and that's what, 20?
You always take the shortcut, so it ends up being 19 miles. But the first time
That's
we did
a long mile at the end. I feel
Yeah,
like they're
it is.
bluffing. Like that.
No.
It feels like 3.
I measured it
It feels
with my
like
watch,
3.
with my GPS.
Feels like 3. So
It's about 23
19
miles
plus 3. It's like 22.
If you do the whole thing, it's like 23 miles.
23. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's It's pretty intense.
It's almost-
That's like half of that.
It's almost the full length of a marathon. Yeah, so if we did that, we would essentially have to do that twice in a row.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah. But you got to keep in mind where we're going to be, the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
It's going to be,
You think the elevation's gonna be crazy?
no,
No.
not anything like Pikes Peak, dude. Pikes Peak, you actually had to worry about it. We had to acclimate.
The thing with Pikes Peak, like it wasn't too strenuous, but it was the baggage. It was like, you know,
That part did suck, but I think
my
that
backpack was pretty heavy.
it's just like walking under complete stress
Yeah.
the whole time. I mean, it's not like
What is it called? The Golden Steps.
the 12 golden steps.
The 12 Golden Steps.
I think we have a podcast, like
that's
one of the
when
podcasts that we did. We actually, I'm like telling you about Pikes Peak, and you're like, you remember that?
Yeah, now it's done. And it honestly wasn't that bad.
I know, I
it
told
was
you
it was
that.
a
I told
challenge
you
for
that.
sure. It was a challenge, but it wasn't as bad as I
It's
thought.
like a 7 out of 10. You know, it's one of those things where I feel like most people can do it. It's
it
just
was
hard.
It was intense, but it wasn't like I want to die. You know.
Yeah, I don't know what it is because it's like it's not physically challenging in that way. It's just strenuous because of the
Yeah.
elevation and how uphill it is. It's like almost anybody can physically do it. It's just hard. You'll throw it here. Shit. But
Yeah.
I think pretty soon we're gonna have Pandavibrations play a little bit of guitar, and he's gonna do Ham and Chi off of Sorry We Made This.
Oh.
So let me just talk about that real quick. So Ham and Chi, this is the second song he's gonna play.
No.
It is.
Stop.
It is.
Don't tell him what it's about.
I'm not gonna say what it's about, but I want to talk about it. That song, it started off as kind of like I wanted to make some sort of synth-based beat, and I laid down some chords. I started adding some drums and everything. That whole song, I don't think it has any samples other than a couple of percussion samples. And when you laid down the vocals, I ended up completely changing the beat around the vocals because I was under the influence of a lot of green-based substances, and it was making me laugh so hard. Just the particular idea of the song, which we're not going to talk about because you're going to perform it, but it was just such a funny concept to me that I just went in on that song. Like I was, in terms of the mixing and mastering on that song, I spent way more time on that song than any other song on the album.
I felt like you spent more time on Cold Brew.
That wasn't on the album.
It wasn't,
but yeah, so
I specifically
really
remember
excited
you
to see that one.
saying you were tired of that song, but Ham and Chi was fun, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get set up for this performance, and we'll see you all there, you know what I'm saying? Just hold that pose and keep doing that. And make it wilder and wilder, like you're an evolving Pokemon. And each evolution of the Pokemon is weirder and weirder. And you just keep getting weirder and weirder. And you get closer to the mic. You get closer to the camera. Just like get your face up in the camera. Like walk over to the camera and just get your face in that thing. And just show the crowd what you're made of. Show the crowd what you're made of. Show them what you got. They don't believe you, but I believe in you. Show them what you... Oh, that's all you got? My bad.
Of the freedom of the land of the hand only in the bosom so free, mamacita condorita. Feeling with the grumbler, humbler, mumbler. Gonna run to my fridge, cause my stomach feels so tumbler. The ham and cheese, gonna get my breeze, get the sneeze, yeah. Ooh, in my knees, yeah. I get the hot buck in the microwave, and she give me brand new. That shit so sizzle, ooh, that shit is so busy. Yeah, I get the hot buck in my microwave, so my side. Ooh, that's a ham and tea, baby. Get my ham and tea, ham and tea, ham and tea. Get my ham and tea, ham and tea, ham and tea. Get my ham and tea, ham and tea, ham and tea. Get my ham and tea, ham and tea, ham and tea. Get my ham and tea, ham and tea, ham and tea. Get my ham and tea, ham and tea, ham and tea. Get my ham and tea, ham and tea, ham and tea. Get my ham and tea, ham and tea. I want my ham and tea. I want my ham and tea. Get my ham and tea, 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 ham and tea. Le malou, le malou, le malou. Let me ham and tea, get my ham and tea, ham and tea, Hammond tube. Give me Hammond tube. Hammond tube. Hammond tube. Give me Hammond tube. Hammond tube. Hammond tube. Give me Hammond tube. Hammond tube. Hammond tube. Give me Hammond tube. Hammond